Marcus stared across the table at the woman who had destroyed everything he once knew. For 10 years, he had imagined this moment. He imagined anger. He imagined demanding answers. He imagined asking Emily how she could take his children, empty their accounts, and disappear without looking back. But now she was sitting in front of him, trembling, tears streaming down her face. And for the first time in a decade, Marcus realized she looked less like the person who betrayed him, and more like someone who had been carrying the weight of a terrible secret. Before we move further, let us know where you are watching from. Emily wiped her tears. I know you don't believe me, she whispered. After everything I did, I wouldn't believe me either. Marcus stayed silent. Then make me believe you. The room became completely still. Even Grace, standing quietly near the doorway, knew this conversation could change everything. Because after 10 years of pain, they were finally about to learn the truth. Before we move further, let us know where you are watching from in the comments. Emily took a deep breath. The man who destroyed our family wasn't someone I loved. Marcus frowned. I never thought you loved him. I didn't. She shook her head. I feared him. I just didn't understand that until it was too late. Marcus leaned forward. Who was he? Emily looked down. His name was Victor Hale. Marcus searched his memory. Nothing. I've never heard of him. You weren't supposed to. Emily paused. Everything Victor did was planned. She explained that almost a year before she left, Victor approached her outside a grocery store. At first, he seemed like a stranger offering help. He picked up the groceries she dropped, introduced himself as a private financial investigator, and claimed he specialized in uncovering corporate fraud. Marcus almost laughed. You believed him? Not at first, Emily admitted. But then he started telling me things. Things he shouldn't have known. He knew where Marcus worked. He knew their address. He knew the children's names. He even knew details about Marcus' father's engineering company. Marcus's expression changed. My father. Emily nodded. Victor told me he had been investigating your family for years. She looked away. He said your father stole the biggest engineering contract in the state from another company. Marcus immediately shook his head. My father won contracts because his company built better projects. I know that now. Emily swallowed. But Victor didn't care about the truth. He cared about revenge. Marcus felt a chill. Revenge for what? Emily looked directly at him. Victor's father was the man who lost that contract. She explained that Victor had spent his entire life believing Marcus' father had destroyed his family. He blamed him for losing the business, for losing their home, for his mother's illness. And after Marcus' father died, Victor decided to take his revenge another way. Emily's voice became quiet. He told me something I'll never forget. She looked down. He said, I can't hurt the man who ruined my family because he's already dead. So I'll make sure everyone carrying his name suffers instead. Marcus clenched his jaw. For the first time in years, his anger wasn't directed at Emily. It was directed at the man who had turned their family against itself. But why did you believe him? Marcus asked. Emily reached into her purse and pulled out an old, worn envelope. Because he didn't just tell me lies. He created proof. She slid the envelope across the table. Marcus opened it. Inside was a letter that looked like it came from him. His signature, his handwriting, his words. But Marcus knew immediately. I never wrote this. Emily nodded. I know. The letter claimed Marcus had been secretly seeing another woman for years, that he had another family, that he planned to leave them after transferring their money and disappearing. Marcus stared at the page. Victor hadn't just lied. He had created an entire fake reality. Emily continued. He showed me photographs. Pictures of you outside a hotel with another woman and a little girl. Marcus shook his head. I've never. He told me she was your daughter. Marcus froze. Emily explained that Victor had created fake DNA reports, fake bank records, fake hotel receipts, and even a fake life insurance document. Everything designed to make her believe Marcus had been living a secret life. And Victor didn't reveal everything at once. He was patient. He showed her one lie after another until the truth became impossible to recognize. Marcus finally understood. Emily hadn't made one terrible decision. She had been manipulated over months by someone who knew exactly how to break her trust. But then Emily's expression changed. The sadness on her face became fear. Marcus, There is something else you need to know. Marcus looked up. What? Emily whispered. The day I left with the children, Victor didn't take us to safety. She paused. He took us somewhere we could never escape. Marcus felt his chest tighten. What do you mean, you couldn't escape? Emily looked toward the family photograph on the fireplace. 3 smiling children. 3 lives she had almost lost forever. The day I left you, she whispered, I thought I was protecting our children. She looked back at Marcus. I had no idea I was walking straight into a prison. Emily explained that Victor convinced her they couldn't stay in their city because Marcus would find them. He claimed he had discovered a safe location where the children would be protected, so she trusted him. Victor drove them nearly 8 hours away to an isolated house outside a small town. At first, everything seemed peaceful. He bought groceries, paid the bills, played with the children. He made himself look like the person saving them. But then, everything changed. The locks were replaced. Marcus listened carefully. He installed security cameras. He took my car keys. When I questioned him, he said it was for our protection. Emily lowered her voice. For a while, I believed him, until the day she tried to take Lily to the library. Victor refused. Emily laughed because she thought he was joking. He wasn't. He told her the children weren't allowed to leave unless he approved it. When she threatened to call the police, Victor calmly handed her a folder. Inside were the documents she had created herself. Her divorce papers, her custody filings, her accusations against Marcus, her bank withdrawals. Then Victor said something that trapped her completely. He told me, go ahead, call the police. The first thing they will ask is why you kidnapped 3 children across state lines after claiming their father was dangerous. Marcus lowered his head. Victor had used Emily's own fear against her. He had turned her choices into a prison. I wanted to run, Emily said, but I was terrified. She believed if she left, Marcus would take the children away forever. But while Emily was trapped, one person started questioning everything. Lily. Marcus smiled faintly. That sounds like her. Emily nodded. She always noticed things. One afternoon, Lily found something hidden behind an old bookshelf. A birthday card. A card Marcus had sent years earlier. Inside was a message he wrote himself. I will always love you. I will always be waiting for you. Lily couldn't understand. If her father had abandoned them, why was he still sending cards every year? Why was he still writing messages filled with love? Slowly, she began watching Victor. And she discovered the truth. He was burning your letters, Emily said. Marcus's hands tightened. Every card I sent. Emily nodded. Every letter. Every package. Every photograph. Victor had spent years erasing Marcus from their lives. But Lily refused to believe the lies. Then one night, she overheard Victor talking on the phone, and she heard the words that changed everything. Emily looked at Marcus. He said, Marcus Williams has spent 10 years blaming his wife. Emily has spent 10 years blaming Marcus. Neither of them realizes they were never fighting each other. Marcus sat frozen. Victor had been watching them destroy each other, and he enjoyed it. Lily was only 16 when she figured out the truth. She waited until Victor left the house. Then she searched through his belongings. Inside an old desk drawer, she found a prepaid phone. And then she found something else. A business card. Marcus immediately remembered it. Years earlier, he had hidden one inside a birthday card. On the back, he wrote, If you ever need me, day or night, call this number. I will come. Emily's voice softened. She kept it all those years. Marcus closed his eyes. He remembered that night. He was asleep when his phone rang. An unknown number. At first, he almost ignored it. Then he answered. Silence. And then, a trembling voice. Dad. Marcus opened his eyes. Lily. Emily nodded. She could barely speak because she was crying so hard. Marcus remembered every word. Dad, please come get us. Mom doesn't know I'm calling. The man lied to all of us. We're scared. Emily wiped her tears. You left immediately. Marcus nodded. I would have crossed the world for my children. Emily looked down. I know. But what neither of them realized was, Victor already knew Lily had called. And when he came home that evening, he was waiting. Emily took a shaky breath. He didn't scream. He didn't get angry. He just smiled. Marcus frowned. What did he do? He walked inside, put his keys down, and acted completely normal. But Lily knew. She couldn't even look at him. Victor noticed. Then he calmly said, "Lily, come into my office for a minute." Marcus's jaw tightened. Emily followed them as far as she could. But Victor stopped her. He told her, "This is between adults and children who forget the rules." Emily stood outside the door. She could hear Victor asking one question over and over. "Who did you call?" But Lily refused to answer. Not once. Then Victor laughed. A quiet, cold laugh. And he said, "You don't have to tell me. I already know." Emily looked at Marcus. "He knew you were coming." Marcus felt his heart sink. Because Victor knew one thing about him better than anyone. Marcus would never ignore a call from his child. And that was exactly what Victor was counting on. Marcus sat completely still. Victor had known. He knew Lily had called. He knew Marcus would come. And instead of running immediately, he waited. Emily continued. "After that conversation, Victor told us to pack our bags." Marcus frowned. "Why?" "He said we were leaving. Immediately." Emily's voice trembled. "He knew you were coming." Marcus remembered that night. The moment Lily whispered their location, he contacted the police. Then he called a private investigator. Then everyone he trusted. He wasn't making the same mistake twice. By sunrise, vehicles were already heading toward the house. But when Marcus arrived, it was empty. No Victor. No Emily. No children. Just abandoned rooms. Half-packed suitcases. Breakfast plates still sitting on the kitchen table. It looked like a family had disappeared in the middle of the morning. Marcus looked at Emily. "How did we find you?" For the first time, a small smile appeared on Emily's face. Because Lily fooled him. Marcus raised his eyebrows. "What?" Emily nodded. While Victor was rushing everyone into the car, Lily told him she forgot her favorite sweater. Marcus smiled. She went back inside. But she wasn't looking for a sweater. Emily's eyes filled with pride. She took a marker. Then she wrote something inside her bedroom closet. Marcus leaned forward. What did she write? Emily whispered, "Dad, he's taking us north." She had also written part of the highway number. Just enough information. Just enough for someone who loved her to understand. Marcus remembered the moment investigators found it. At first, nobody knew what the message meant. But when he saw the handwriting, he knew. It was his daughter's way of saying, "I'm still here. Please find me." Marcus swallowed hard. "She knew I would come." Emily nodded. She never stopped believing that. The investigators followed the clue. Traffic cameras showed Victor's vehicle heading north. Then they tracked it to an abandoned hunting cabin deep in the woods. A place Victor had prepared years earlier. No neighbors. No witnesses. No easy escape. He thought nobody would ever find them. He was wrong. Marcus remembered arriving there. The flashing police lights. The officers surrounding the cabin. The silence. The fear. Emily looked down. "I thought he was going to hurt us." Marcus reached across the table and gently held her hand. "You don't have to continue." But Emily shook her head. "I do. I've carried this for 10 years. She continued. While Victor watched the police outside, Lily noticed the back door was unlocked. Ethan saw it first. He grabbed Sophie's hand. Lily pushed Emily toward the exit. And she shouted, "Mom, run." Marcus smiled through tears. "That sounds exactly like her." Emily laughed softly. "It does." They escaped through the woods. The police found them minutes later. And then came the moment Marcus had dreamed about for 10 years. Lily saw him. She ran. Not toward the officers. Not toward safety. Toward her father. She threw her arms around him and cried, "Dad, I knew you'd come." Marcus wiped his eyes. "I promised her I always would." Emily smiled. "You kept your promise." For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Marcus asked the question he had carried for a decade. What happened to Victor? Emily exhaled. He confessed. Victor admitted everything. The forged signature. The fake photographs. The stolen mail. The fake financial documents. The lies. All of it. But there was one confession that hurt the most. Marcus looked at Emily. "The contract." She nodded. "He admitted your father never stole anything." Marcus froze. Emily continued. "Your father simply won the contract because his company submitted the better proposal. There was no corruption. No betrayal. No conspiracy. Just business. 10 years of suffering. Because one man couldn't accept losing." Emily looked at Marcus. I know I can't give you those years back. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But you need to know something. You were innocent the entire time. Marcus looked toward the family picture. His children. The life he almost lost forever. I never stopped loving them. Emily nodded. I know. And despite everything, Marcus looked at her. I'm grateful Lily believed in me when nobody else did. Emily smiled through her tears. She saved all of us. The room became quiet. Because sometimes justice wasn't watching someone fall. Sometimes justice was seeing the people who were hurt finally find their way back to each other. But Marcus still had one question. A question that would reveal Victor's final attempt to destroy them. Because even from behind bars, Victor wasn't finished. Marcus looked at Emily. What do you mean he wasn't finished? Emily reached into her purse and pulled out a worn envelope. She placed it on the table. I received this 6 months ago. Marcus looked at the return address. A federal correctional facility. His expression changed. You've been writing to Victor? Emily immediately shook her head. No. He wrote to me. Marcus opened the letter. The first sentence made his stomach tighten. Emily, I know where your children are. Marcus looked up. What is this? Emily swallowed. He started sending letters trying to convince me that you turned the children against me. She explained that at first. Part of her wanted to believe him. Not because she trusted Victor, but because after years of manipulation, his voice was still inside her mind. Marcus understood. A person could escape a prison, but escaping years of control was much harder. Emily continued. But something didn't make sense. He claimed you had poisoned the children against me. She shook her head. But every investigator I hired told me the same thing. Marcus looked surprised. You hired investigators? Emily nodded. For years. I searched everywhere. Schools, hospitals, universities, every place I thought they might be. Marcus finally understood. The woman sitting across from him wasn't someone who stopped caring. She was someone who spent 10 years searching through the damage Victor created. Emily took a deep breath. The truth finally came out the night Victor confessed. Marcus listened. He was drunk. For the first time, he stopped pretending. Emily remembered his words. He laughed and said, Do you know the funniest part? Marcus never cheated on you. His father never stole that contract. My father simply lost. Marcus clenched his fists. Victor had destroyed an entire family because he couldn't accept his own father's failure. Emily wiped her tears. Then he said something I'll never forget. Revenge tastes sweeter when innocent people suffer. The room went silent. Marcus looked toward the family photos. 10 years. Birthdays missed. Graduations missed. Moments stolen. All because one person wanted someone else to feel his pain. But then Marcus noticed something. Despite everything, Victor had failed. Because Lily never stopped searching for the truth. Their family had survived. And now they had a choice. They could stay trapped in the past. Or finally move forward. Just then, the front door opened. Laughter filled the hallway. Dad, Lily's voice echoed through the house. We're home. Marcus stood. The moment Lily, Ethan, and Sophie entered the room, they stopped. They saw Emily. And everything became quiet. Emily slowly stood. For years she had imagined this moment. She had practiced apologies. She had imagined what she would say. But now, she had no words. I'm sorry. Her voice broke. I failed all of you. Nobody moved. The silence was painful. Then Ethan stepped forward. He looked at his mother. One question. Emily nodded. Anything. He stared into her eyes. Did you ever stop loving us? Emily immediately broke down. Never. Not for 1 second. I loved you every day. I just didn't know how to save you. Ethan nodded slowly. I believe you. Then Lily stepped forward. Marcus held his breath. This was the moment everyone feared. Emily looked down. I don't deserve your forgiveness. Lily reached out and took her mother's hands. She looked at her with tears in her eyes. You don't. Emily's heart sank. Then Lily continued. But forgiveness isn't something people earn. It's something people choose. Emily looked up. Lily smiled. We lost 10 years. Dad lost 10 years. You lost 10 years. We can't change that. But we don't have to lose tomorrow too. And then Lily hugged her mother. Emily collapsed into tears. Marcus watched quietly. Grace reached for his hand. He held hers. Because sometimes healing doesn't look like forgetting. It looks like choosing peace after years of pain. Marcus looked around the room. His children, Emily, Grace, the people who had shaped his life. It wasn't the perfect ending he imagined 10 years ago. It was something better. It was the truth. And for the first time in over a decade, Marcus finally felt home. If this story touched your heart, tell us in the comments. Could you forgive someone who spent years believing a lie about you? Or would the pain be too difficult to overcome? Also, let us know where you're watching from. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful story of justice, redemption, and unforgettable twists. See you in the next story.